Hello and welcome back to another episode of PSY-POD, the podcast that is about nothing, the podcast which your mother doesn't care about but your father told you to watch. We are here live from Juno Studios. If this is your first time watching, this is a casual conversation where we talk about formal, sometimes informal things in a very informal manner and not an interview. And today we have a little bit slightly more formal interview, even though me and Inola look like we just woke up. Our guests are not in that similar attire. So with that being said, maybe Sir Budusugi can look into the camera and say hello to our local and international fans.
Hello. Kuzambo.
So can you introduce yourself?
Okay. I'm Sonam Penjor, and I work at the Department of Media, Creative Industry and Intellectual Property. And it's wonderful to be here at PSY-POD.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tempa Tshering, working as Chief of Copyright and Creative Industry Promotion Division within DoMCIIP. And we thank PSY-POD and team for inviting us here. We just dropped by casually. There's nothing hardcore or official about our gathering here.
That's a very softcore episode. Let's go. With that being said, PSY-POD starts now. PSY-POD. Okay, before we begin, usually we always start the episode by giving a shout out to Juno Studios and thanking DoMCIIP for the mics, but actually DoMCIIP is here, so we say thank you, sir. Thank you for supporting this podcast.
You're welcome.
And also we'll give a shout out to our podheads, our lovely loyal people who support directly this podcast, to our members. So thank you, members. Thank you, podheads. Lasso. And also to our podhead pro, Dorji, big ups and big shout out. That being said, very, very fast, quick intro. Let us go right away with the podcast episode. Okay, so before we begin with all the other conversations we can talk about, maybe Sarbu can give us a little bit of maybe information of what is DoMCIIP. So, so you may give us a full acronym of what it is, but actually what does DoMCIIP do? What is DoMCIIP? Can you give us the information, maybe the people who don't know what they're about?
Oh, great. Very informally, this is some very formal stuff. And it's a wonderful opportunity. Actually, as far as I remember, we haven't done this formal introduction of department at any forum, but it's a good opportunity for us today. Well, the DoMCIIP, as the acronym stands for Department of Media, Creative Industry and Intellectual Property. The department is actually exploring ways and means to promote the creative industry, to protect creative industry works through an enabling intellectual property environment. And in the world of multimedia, we have to use media as a very important platform. When I say media, it does not mean the conventional print media. Today, this is also media. So, so promoting the creative industry through adequate protection of intellectual property rights, through the use of various forms of media is DoMCIIP. And it's wonderful to be working in such an organization, mainly because we've reached a world where, often we hear that people are stressed out, people are bored. Sai and Norla, if you walk around from here till the junction down there, and if you ask people, every third person will say, boring. And let me show them. Okay. Starting from our kids, I have two sons.
Yes.
Aluchi nam some interested be but aluchi bored be dipness. So ni boring the fashion as no.
Yes.
And boring the fashion comedy, they are very hungry for creative works. That's also an indication. No?
Yes.
So therefore, creative industry, the supply of creative work has no ends, no bound. It's limitless. So people like you'll have to create. People like us will have to support, promote, protect.
Yes.
And that way, it becomes an integral part of the economy. And one day, probably ngaragi time na ni alusugi time na Bhutan gi GDP na lo creative economy gi creative sector gi contribution di halam 15% 20% that you have bachin namle ruda okana le ruda sem ga abidini unde
So, Tempa, I will ask you, you want to talk about IP, you mentioned. So
Yes.
what is the importance of IP, at least what you feel like, at least from DoMCIIP in Bhutanese creative industry?
We have been advocating about the intellectual property and its importance. But to put it into our common people's perspective, now for any progress and growth of business and our society, we need to be innovative. Otherwise, progress will stall. The countries which are doing well, they are progressing fast because of technology, as well as their other form of innovations. And in order to have that, first we need to have legal framework, because we cannot wait for an inventor or innovator to come up and then enact or frame laws. So that's why we have 2 intellectual property acts as far as 2001. But before that, we became member of World Intellectual Property Organization, which has around 194 member countries as of now. We became member in 1994, and we enacted 2 intellectual property acts. One is Industrial Property Act of the Kingdom of Bhutan 2001, which protects inventions, designs, and trademarks, brands, which is commonly known as brand, but technically it's a mark. It could be service mark, trademark, or collective mark. And there is another form of mark known as geographical indication. And the other one is design, the invention. It can be in all fields of technology. And the other act is Copyright Act of the Kingdom of Bhutan, which protects literary, artistic, and music audiovisual works, such as music, then painting, choreography, film, music, and even the applied arts, painting, and computer software. So we have this framework in place, but we need to be more proactive. If it is developed countries, just having an act, DoMCIIP would just wait and then maybe advise people to enforce and how to go about. But here, now we have act, but we don't have the invention designs coming up. So here now, we are trying to be little in the field. So especially in the music industry and film and music industry, you have it's easy to grasp what we are doing. But in other sectors like design, invention, we have our own programs with colleges, with business stakeholders, with farmers and so on, which produces some, for example, origin-linked quality products, which deserves a national symbol or mark for branding and so on. And now, with these 2 legislation, we are now trying to do some sort of revision, because with changing times, we need to update also, in line with our own domestic demand. For example, 2001, we didn't have internet. Now the Copyright Act needs to be in compliance with digital technology, online sale, infringement, and so on. We need to take care of all this, and only the Act will empower agency and people to pursue enforcement and business. And we are also planning to now formulate one national intellectual property strategy, which will incorporate both copyright as well as industrial property aspects of intellectual property.
Yes. Speaking of which, of intellectual property, last time Inola was showing me yesterday an interesting article on newspaper, which was about UNIQLO was filing branding, was it IP right, something like that? Maybe sir can give us the information on that.
Sure. Now, Bhutan is signatory to another treaty, Paris Convention for Protection of Industrial Property, meaning protection of invention, brands, design. Now, as of today, there are 179 countries which abide by that treaty. Bhutan became member in 2000, meaning that 179 countries, we should treat each other as one family when it comes to protecting each other's brands. Not brands, trademarks. Brand is overall generic term. So the trademarks, which could also be service marks. If it is used in service, we call it service mark. But commonly, it's known as trademark. So UNIQLO, they are from one of our member countries, 179. So like UNIQLO, there are around 20,000 brands protected in Bhutan.
Okay.
Registered.
Oh,
But
really?
they have to register, yes.
Oh, okay. Let's.
And similarly, Bhutanese can also register in this 179
Okay.
countries.
Fine.
And then once you register, you are treated like any national person. The UNIQLO company, they can have the right for 10 years from registration. But every 10 years, they can renew those marks. And then they have the right, meaning that by section 28, you have this intellectual property rights, which can, that by registration, you have the right to stop others from using, selling, offering for sale, or even reproducing without your authorization. You can stop them.
Yes.
So, like any Bhutanese, they also have the right because they have filed here, they have certificate.
Yes.
But the case is not the misuse of mark on the product, but their complaint or the concern they raised to us being used as a signboard to indicate affiliation as like
exactly.
a dealership.
Yes, yes.
And even if those shops they sell counterfeit, then people will believe because they are very blatant, bold. So they didn't raise initially about the counterfeit. Their concern is mostly on rampant display
Signboards.
of affiliation with UNIQLO.
Okay. Yes.
So even if you say sell fake, then people could get deceived.
Yes.
So it's mostly on the concern on not on the business profit, but on the reputation.
Brand image.
And then consumers sort of misleading the consumer that those sort of effect could be there if they don't check. Even if
So,
people
sir, so you can enforce, like, let's say a shop having a UNIQLO sticker stuck on the wall, you can enforce to them to take it down. And
no, that sounds like an end sort of action that would be seen.
Yes.
But initially, any intellectual property rights, they are private rights,
Yes.
meaning that UNIQLO, they are the sole authority to enforce.
Okay.
Because we don't put in government resources and time.
But they contact DoMCIIP.
Yeah, but so what happened was they actually know the enforcement procedure, how to go about. So they initially talk to those people randomly. May not be as many as they are today, but initially a few years back. So they raised the concern that without any affiliation, please do not use our logo, figures and marks. And people didn't listen. And then the next step would be to maybe take it to the court. But they didn't want to do it because it's not the counterfeit, it's just a sort of a misassociation or some deceiving sort of practice. And then we, through formal channel, they approach us saying that before it gets ugly or bad, maybe we could advise them.
Yes.
So we are taking action not to protect UNIQLO, but to protect those people from wasting their time and maybe even their shop's reputation.
Yes.
Because then people would think they are the counterfeit sort of outlets or infringers. They might be selling genuine, but the very bold association like dealership was not acceptable to UNIQLO without any formal sort of agreement done. That's it.
But was there any other brands or maybe intellectual properties which had complaints similar? Because we see sometimes when you go to Northern Lum, you see Apple logo here, H&M logo here, Zara logo here. But it's very normalized, sir. At least growing up in Thimphu, like, okay, they're selling it, they're definitely not authorized, but they're using it because of the,
this is a very interesting question because I think we can go with the flow. Now, we are net consumer of others' intellectual property. Now, if we have 20,000 plus trademark registered in our country, we have just like 500 plus local Bhutanese brands or trademarks. That also through advocacy and awareness and forcefully begging them, please create a logo or brand for your unique product if you have quality. So after so many sort of getting to them, interacting with them through workshop, seminar, then we could come up and make a 500. That's like forceful. Maybe half would be forceful. And half they come up whenever others try to copy or come up with similar name, then they get some sort of sensitized about the importance of a brand and then come to register. Otherwise, now almost 90% we are we have even in brands. Now, similarly in inventions, we have a majority others, less than 100 inventions filed here, but 70% it's foreign, even with design. So now, looking at this scenario, we are born not to respect intellectual property, because firstly, the country very recently graduated from LDC, meaning that we don't have purchasing capacity. How can we just wait for the original mellow? Firstly, even if we want to go for original, we don't find it. So the alternative is to look for any copies or whatever, and we don't have expertise to verify. So the culture of copying is not abnormal or not strange for us. So we are used to copying. Now what happened was, now our population is less than 1 million. Now those big brands like Nike and all, we thought people are infringing, and even went to the field to verify in some border areas some years back. And we found those people saying that if you want to order those fake products, you need to order at least 1,000 copies, shirt or sandal or slipper. And then brand, you can choose whether you want to use Nike, Adidas, whatever, they will stick. And then they bring it here. And we were wondering, the enforcement power doesn't rely with Inola, as per the legislation with DoMCIIP. So we were wondering why Nike, Adidas, they are all registered, even Apple and all. Why they are not enforcing that? Then we just have some rational, assumptions within ourselves, saying that the population of countries less than 1 million. Those people with purchasing capacity to buy original brands could be even lesser. Now compare with Thailand, Bangkok, 15 million plus, I guess, population. From there, even if half buys original, they have a big market. But our whole country, nation itself is very, the market is very less. So if they want to file case or take down all those, or if they assign watchdogs like they are doing now for UNIQLO, then the expenses could be very high. And moreover, we can also justify the consumers who buy these fake products, can also justify saying that there is no any legal outlets in those days. Unless there is a dealership and authentic outlets, I think these copies will keep on coming. Because once there is dealership and authentic outlets, then those outlets can monitor. They will be the legal representative. UNIQLO don't have to spend extra money. So that's the context.
Yes. Not have any questions?
Yes. Since most of us are unaware of how to go through this process, can you walk us through the process of how an artist, a designer, or inventor would approach DoMCIIP and apply for their IP?
Yes. Especially for industrial property creators, patents, design, and trademarks, the law has a criteria on how to get registration. And the most difficult one is patent invention. For invention, if you come up with invention, mostly the technical colleges and R&D institute, they do that. They produce some invention, mostly in other countries, but here also gradually we might see. Now, their motive is not commercialization or protection. Their motive primarily are mostly publication, and then maybe like just lifting your name and showing off that you have invented something. So what we advise them is, now the primary criteria for invention to get registered is newness. It should be new not only in Bhutan, throughout the world. Newness, then there should be inventive steps. It should not be obvious to people if you have a pencil and an eraser tip. If it was new, nobody knew at that time, then you would say that, oh, it's new, nobody knew. At that time, it solves a technical problem, having to carry two things. But the second criteria says it should have inventive step, meaning it should be non-obvious. Means even if a child can stick with a glue, then he will fail. There should be some complexity, R&D. And third one is industrial application. It should be applied in the industry. If it is just invented for the sake of maybe like collection or no mass production, then that person will fail to get any patent which is 20 years monopoly.
Yes.
So invention, it should be new. And then we had this substantive examination being carried out.
Yes.
But just now we are outsourcing because only 23 countries are capable of doing that. So meaning that substantive examination, they check with all the global existing inventions, like 120 million plus in the database.
Yes.
They do it through various means, like even classification and all, search. And then inventive step, it is left to the examiners. For example, here we have like 3 examiners. But countries like Korea, China, they will have 2,000 examiners. 50 for electrical, then biotechnology and so on. So they will find out whether it's obvious or not. Newness, through database we can check. Non-obviousness, they will check through their own knowledge and skill. Then inventive industrial application, mostly taken care. Mostly who apply it's for business only. And with regard to the design, industrial design, it should be new throughout the world. And newness, we check it through overall appearance of an article. So the industrial design, it doesn't take care of the functionality, only the aesthetic appeal, ornamental aspect. It could be 3D or 2D, like textile, 3D like this mug, and even the inscription. That if it is successfully examined, you get 15 years money, right? Intellectual. So after 15 years, anyone can copy.
Yes.
And then trademark. So now trademark by definition is a sign, which could be words, letters, numerals, figure, or even now in other countries they recognize sound and smell as trademark. But just now our law is limited to just the visual aspect. Yeah.
You should give the example of this.
Yeah. This has
No. This is now giving promotion to them. They need to pay me.
My favorite.
Okay, Coca-Cola is one of the oldest trademarks.
Okay, that's
a good example.
130 years plus. So every 10 years they renew 130.
Okay.
But we have registered only this logo, which is a figure and the font, the stylish font.
Yes.
But they have, in other jurisdiction, even the shape of bottle, they have trademarked.
That's interesting.
Actually, the bottle is supposed to expire in 15 years. But they applied this shape trademark to the office, the IP office. And then IP office reviews, saying that, okay, this shape doesn't fall under trademark.
Okay.
But if the DoMCIIP or IP office refuses, they have another level to appeal to the court. So they have in European jurisdiction, they have gone to the court, and then court actually examined and said that this shape is very distinctive, which is criteria for trademark Vedava. And they got this shape trademark. Nobody copies.
So only Coca-Cola company can use this shape.
So
yes.
If
Immortalized as trademark now.
If you strip this bottle, and keep it on the table, even if it is empty, we always know that this is the bottle of this.
Coke bottle. But Sprite ke drive na. Sprite ne sim de mo. But same company me na. Same company. Okay.
Deodani khogi jam chichi but so di mush.
Pepsi.
Ani
ki bottle shape unique che ba.
You devoda khogi di halamchi shimi da dasuchi ba.
Okay.
Ani kho chungku chi ba. Ani di tauchi sheba. Ani me.
Oh.
Da jugi ni zawang se asiba mo. Deoda da chugi branding diga de jab da sochen. SHOUTOUT se jab da ba.
Toilet paper in it paint.
So ani zumbera imba ba.
Okay. That's go. Very
What about
interesting.
flavors?
Flavor, since I didn't want to talk about this, it's called non-conventional trademark. Our trademark is restricted only to letters, words, numerals. Now, if we are to talk about this non-conventional, which we already talked about, shape more, let me go to sound and smell. Now, sound, Nokia ringtone, Yamaha bike, they're all trademarked. MGM Lion Roar, 20th Century Fox. These are all trademarked, nobody in copy. And people, they see that they have acquired secondary meaning similar through this sound. Whenever you hear that, you think about that screen. So Yamaha bike, they say we have distinctive sound is. So it qualifies as trademark. And with regard to the smell. Now there is a Dutch tennis ball manufacturing company. They came up with smell
Distinct smell there.
Yeah, that also now refused by IP office, and they went to the court to justify. And the court said that it smells of anime, fresh cut grass. As soon as you open the bulky packet, so no companies has semebadi. And then they decided that this is one of the most profound trademark message. Even deaf, mute, they can recognize your marks. Whereas your Coca-Cola, they might have to touch more. The visually impaired, the print disabled.
Wow, eye-opening. No eye closing, nose hole opening.
So in future, we might have to travel in that way. Just now we didn't sign, there is one treaty, Singapore Treaty CLAB, and it's called Trademark Law Treaty, which recognizes this non-conventional sound, smell, shape trademark.
So let's say, for instance, I'm a tennis ball company, and now I have made my balls also smell like fresh cut grass. Now that this original company, if they find out, they can take me to court and say that I cannot use this similar smell, or even any damages, as if I've earned, let's say, 2 crore from smelling, taking their similar smell and making profit. Did I have to pay damages? Is that how it works?
If you create through another smell, another grass species, whatever smell, then they might not sue you. If you copy the same ingredient which smells, then they might sue you, because people will associate you to that company, and that company will sue you on free riding. They have done enough to promote and make a consumer's mindset more, make a firm on those smell trademark, but you are just entering and rampantly selling on the already established advertisement reputation.
So with that being said, also how about for musical artwork and film? Because sometimes I go on TikTok, I can watch a whole movie on TikTok, do a movie, Gasla me singe or Tshering me to part 47 names you do more. And also like in karaoke, we can sing any Bhutanese song with no worries. But apparently what I've understood is abroad it's not allowed. You need to have trademarks or permissions from whatever their labels and all. So Bhutan ki theka, sir, obviously we see it everywhere. So enforcement ki theka gare mo, sir.
As I said earlier, we are net consumers of others' intellectual property, right? So it has become normal for us to just consume others without permission. But the law is strict on this. Now the gap or the drawback is with the creators, not effectively enforcing. Because as I mentioned before, office doesn't have the power to enforce on individual behalf. So what happens is, now law says, even if you broadcast or sing outside the family circle, it's a commercial performance. Meaning that whoever is performing or coordinating the performance should pay something to the right holder. And right holder should also come up and talk to them. But it has become so casual, even if you perform to 10,000 people in the clock tower, you have no sense of guilt, the coordinator performing others. And the right holder has no sense of business to ask or do something about that. But in other countries, they have enough creators who actually got together, formed an association, and then the royalty collections and mechanism they have. But here, just now we are coming to that age where we need to do something, because unless we have original creators, we cannot make noise about that. Negotiation power will be less, but if we have more creators, more original works, then it becomes stronger. But copyright also has a limitation, life of author plus 50 years. But I think most of the songs, they are still under copyright. The singers, if they expire, then from the date of expiry of the person, or 50 years. But sometimes they purposely put it in public domain to just enhance their profile, the name. So we need to analyze properly why and
recently we tried to advocate with some singers, some new songs. Released 2-3 days ago, and then suddenly somebody has come up with lyrics on YouTube.
Lyric video, official lyric video.
So we actually sounded it to the artist, the creator, and then said, well, you should take action because we want to, but we cannot. You should It's okay. It's in one way marketing. Promotion.
But it's getting monetized there.
Yeah,
Money lost, literally money lost.
True. And then I think while we were actually working and strategizing, assessing the ground situation of the music industry, there is very less original creations in our songs. Mostly you're singing his, he's singing mine, and you're thriving on one song in various forms.
Yes.
So what we're trying to do is we're trying to encourage people to create your own song. Now, why do we do that? Again, we come back to IP. If a singer is known with one song,
Yes.
The last one who came here was Ed Sheeran. I think Shape of You, Siuchi Ed Sheeran, Siuchi Shape of You. Yes. So the original can do that for a singer. You can create a brand of yourself if your original is very powerful. So why don't we do that?
Yes.
So Hani cheating chigi. Now karaoke is so coming back to those aspects, we are going around talking casually, informally, formally. Why mapadi copyright the voluntary imbe debi indi be sachirura ya office no be register be jas sachigi se kachi teume kechonse. Increasingly what I'm really happy about is increasingly educated and more aware me about YouTube this nalepa complaint chap Facebook nalepa complaint chap be mute so tamna. So all the dancing effort and all your moves goes in vain because the song is muted. No? Because if you're using somebody's song, rightfully that person has to be paid. No? And for singers, Lord Tukchu Dinchu Gulebi Hibigale Dichuki pitching the low catchy something that is medium minute. Then about the royalty stream cheese of Kachi. Ani bendigira da to na labde babu SoundCloud se ani bendigira ta janga chi world IP denalu music award chi jinta iba ani jimna chi SoundCloud use mabe wale SoundCloud use mabe me SoundCloud na lu dite ugen pandera changa de chi. Who is the real one? The goat. Who's the real one? Nobody is verifying, nobody knows. You won't bet on Jatang, they would actually mischief. So, never the SoundCloud to Jada slapping at a phone, and SoundCloud delete big. Spotify big, Spotify tabi, Analubin verify big artists, which artists better register Belme, distrocate use be, artist membership, then have some to watch consumer. So, listener be about the low, Kaba those, YouTube melody, the Chugi Momadin, searching Chumomadin Chikish. So, what we're trying to do is we're also trying to develop, or actually we've developed that system, an artist registry system. So, henceforth, we are encouraging all artists to register there with their official accounts, so that in the event we need to
enforce
or assess or for anything, for any decision making, we need the authentic identity, authentic brand.
Yes.
So, any system they encourage better use basis. So, in the next 1 or 2 weeks, we are going to go door to door, together, artist to artist, and make them do it. Because if you are to work with us, you have to be formalized.
Yes.
Okay?
Not the biggest.
Okay.
Anything else, Nola?
Can we go back all the way to the start?
Because let's go to the start.
I didn't hear about DoMCIIP until about a year ago.
Yeah.
So what led to the turning point that led to the inception of DoMCIIP? I'm curious to know.
DoMCIIP was there. DoMCIIP was there. It was basically a merger of 3 entities. The erstwhile Department of Information and Media,
And then IP.
the Department of Intellectual Property, and the Agency for Promotion of Indigenous Crafts.
Oh, okay.
So these three entities were merged together, and DoMCIIP was born. And so after the transformation, and this folding of various organizations into one, things were picking up. I'm lucky, as soon as I joined up there, we started getting some publicity, which actually led to a proper positioning of the department. So that we consider ourselves lucky because the timing was correct. But I have to say the DoMCIIP department was there.
Okay, so let's go back to a little bit of lighter tone. Recently, still sitting with, still in the theme of music, we had a recent World Music Day, right? World Music Day concert more. So it was a great event. I attended. Inola performed, but he also attended. We had a great time, especially outdoor setting. It was refreshing. It wasn't a mega night kind of feel, but also like outdoor. Everyone were carrying their families in the park, and so it was very nice. So what was the idea and reasoning why you wanted to organize such a big event? And how did it turn out, at least from your side, Lhazzzy?
Well, we had a lot of brainstorming back at the office, and we wanted to test the water. Okay. Rather, we wanted to see what can the music industry do. Yes. So, therefore, we planned it. So, the main objective is actually to see can our music thrive. Yes. And looking at the crowd, which was more than 10,000. More than 10,000. 6,412 adults and the balance 18 under kids.
Okay.
So.
And it was raining.
It was raining. It was raining. Fortunately, sound worked. The electricity, the power continued. So we were lucky, and the artists performed fabulously. So our intention was to test whether our music and our musicians will work or not. And we added a twist to it, and we said no cover versions, all originals.
And Godakira.
And on stage, Godakira. We have to branding. What kind of branding is? We have to brand our bands in such a way that we are different. If we look different, we will sound different. If we sound different, we are different. So that was the whole intention. And, the most heartening thing was when one or two artists, in fact, quite a lot of them, they came to express their gratitude and appreciation to us, saying that this kind of thing was necessary. It's a big platform for the musicians, the artists in the country, and even with the crowd turnout, it became even bigger. And then the other thing was one or two singers even came to me and said, I'm actually quite surprised that the audience knew all the lyrics of all of my songs. So, which gave him the confidence to work more. Right? Even more harder. Yeah, even more harder. And I have to be honest, one condition was that no lip syncing. no lip syncing, which could have disappointed the chances to do. But what we wanted was practice. At the end of the day, a star is born, silab never, but a superstar is hard work, hard work plus talent.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yes. So hard work, the music na in practice and discipline. So we ingrained all these aspects into it, into the concert, and tried it. And I'm very happy to know that you guys also enjoyed it. Yes. It gives, actually I was telling, very confidently, look, the Chimna Job, a few cousins gathering, and then I ended up being there. How do get up Nale? Chi Tempachin, Ki Chapachin, Chigi, Shapatimi Sugi, Ki Chapni Mes,
okay.
Chapatimi. Chi Dubigi Japta Chi Billboard Gichart Nelefa, Hisubachi,
Game over. Game over.
Mission accomplished, not game over. Game over in Chittoor.
Game started.
Game started.
Bhutan has entered Sithe. Game over mission.
Last. Okay, so a little bit also going back since last year, like even we're recipients of the grant, also with this podcast, also with the Junior Studios channel from DoMCIIP side. Last year, what was actually the main intent from the grant? What did you guys want, at least from the creators' perspective? Especially, we applied and we're grateful. We contributed to our own creative content, which we understood from our perspective. But from DoMCIIP, what was your at least an objective or your expectations from that grant? Was it to grow the subscriber count for people's YouTube channels? Was it to make our music industry or creative industry known from the outside world?
Was it nourishment?
Whatever it was, what was it?
Yeah, please.
I think director here could have directly explained to you on this. But before that, I just want to give a recap.
Yes.
Because earlier days, we consume our music through audio cassettes.
Yes.
And then later on, now we are putting into digital platform.
Yes.
And it's not that CD, but the online like YouTube, Spotify.
Yes.
And there, I think it goes global.
Yes.
So the quality, everything should be shaped up. The rest, I directly explain on the exact points.
Yeah, Mapa, three things. Drawing it from personal experiences. I listen to a lot of international music.
Yes.
I may not understand the lyrics, but if it is melodious enough, if it gives me some vibes, it's on my playlist. And if you look at my playlist on Spotify, you'll find music from anywhere in the world. I'm recently listening to some Italian music because it's good, So why can't our Bhutanese music do it? First, second, the digital content, Silabdalu. Second is the soft power. As a small country with population of about 750,000, well, it has been 750,000 since long. I'm not sure it must have increased now, but it's still the reported number. So with a population of about 750,000, if Bhutan is to position itself in this ever-changing world, we have to make ourselves visible. Tami bum dinda tonhangap chudi kati ke darura visible mejode. The samling the digital arena din nalu ngachi ke chapoga ba. Ngachi ki shaptairu anating gobe ngachi ki gekhabiru anating gobe ngachi ki sik khakiru anating gobe. So that is the intention. And most importantly, we call it sustainably, organically sustainable. So the most fashionable and the cliche question these days is the activity sustainable? So now we answer it's organically sustainable. So what do you mean organically sustainable? Well, if you tell me to do something, I have to produce something. No, I have to gain by doing that.
Yes.
Now, the content creator content the create base lab bebe grant chichi. The content the create bebe hani content digi tiruchi zosubachin. Hani tiruti go tadigira dolo zumba terula.
Sure, yes.
So organic asaba the it is not nothing doing. It's organic.
Yes.
And it will sustain as long as you are popular. And these days in this world, man, people are so creative. You will change yourself. The biggest example I use is, when I first listened to Maroon 5, it was a rock band.
Yeah.
Now today they are singing Sugar. Songs like Sugar. So you have to move with time. So content creators, unemployment numbers can come down. Gradually, YouTube, foreign exchange earnings can enhance for the country.
Yes.
Individually, that individual will earn some livelihood by doing something that interests him or her. So if you are doing something, Sai, you're a good example. Dile, ima za komanora, ima za chuachin. You can't eat the food. But I love gip. So if I'm given some gip, with the worst kind of rice also, I'll eat 3 plates of rice there because of the gip. So, Trova Yubigi La di Be, Di Tole Be, Tiruchia Zosobachandi, I think you can't ask for more than that. That, these were the various objectives we had in mind. And yeah, it was supposed to be a stimulus, so it stimulated people from
very much.
But before that, but sir, metric systems like okay, the anji the local amchi mo gikam inject be, the amchi market target market. Did you guys have it from your perspective? So if you could maybe disclose to us, and did you guys hit those targets from this last year in review?
So I think on the revenue front, which was not targeted, honestly speaking.
Yes.
On the forex earnings front, we didn't target it because we were quite skeptical about how we can gather the data.
Yes.
But now we are able to gather data.
Okay.
So we are working closely with the banks. So these are certain metrics that we are achieving over and above. We wanted to create 100 YouTubers.
Okay.
With at least 100,000 subscribers.
Okay.
So which makes to 10 million subscribers of Bhutanese at least
creators.
Subscriber base.
So and then we wanted at least 1 or 2 Bhutanese songs to be played in international pubs.
Oh, okay.
International pubs would be famous, but international content creators are using some of our creations.
Okay.
So these are encouraging,
Yes.
What we tried to do was last year when you had invited some, in collaboration with Department of Tourism, we invited some international bloggers.
Yeah.
So Analu, what we were telling them was, since you're in Bhutan, you will have to use Bhutanese music as your background score. Say Labdalu, 1 or 2 they used, and then comment the Taudalu. So, honey create beko.
Yes.
So basically, you are stimulating not only the local economy but international customers also. And last but not the least, same topic go. Movies is super watching them. Formerly Gangnam Girls and Bilwa.
Oh, it's on Amazon Prime,
and Apple TV. Recently, it's on Apple TV also. Now that we collaborated with the producers here, and then we did that.
Okay.
So once we did that, now one private production house has his movie even on Apple TV.
Oh, okay.
So, as the government, what we need to do is we need to pave the way. Okay.
Yes.
We don't have to handhold bedira ya lam anali imare sira kijo mengo beba ya lam dinga tenja imare da chera junsh selab la jumi duba. So aniboda the same guy. So gradually do we gi loknin chini da chiga chera kimsa ge khap gi loknin de sugi chimi ge khap nalo na me sami yonda joda zumbe mu very popular joda zumbe ngachi nagi movie chini da chiga. Yes. That's a hope. That's a hope.
Yes. Okay. No, you wanted to ask something. Sorry.
Okay, sorry. Can I add something and also ask a question?
Okay,
so sorry. I agreed what Dasho said about soft power. No? I read up that BTS, in its peak, they provided like 0.3% of the GDP of South Korea. And that's like $5 billion. So I can really see how much the creative industry can have an impact. So moving forward, I think DoMCIIP is also trying to, pave the way, the steps to make this happen in Bhutan as well, even though we can't do it in a large scale. I wanted to add that, but also as a question, since as creatives, we often function beyond the structures, creative people, they thrive beyond the formalities. So I was wondering how can something like DoMCIIP, how do you guys find a fine line between the creative people who don't like regulation? How do you regulate between the freedom to create, Is there something that you guys think about? Sorry. So sorry.
No. See, the first thing that we try to do is our philosophy at work. We are working with a different breed of people, Salami. So the last thing we can do, the least we can do is give them our time. Listen to them.
Yes.
We actually do not. We are a different breed of people, or we seem to be a different breed of people. So to make them closer to us, the first thing we can do, or the least we can do, is give them our time and listen to them. Now, when you listen to them, if you are to listen to them, another thing is that they might not come at 9 to 12. Their time will be from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we said, "But the gay goods into the didn't get into the anapshiki so pejinda ase. But the gay libi was chimney jogobe. The home answer baby.
How did you know? Sorry.
Maybe, but that was our preparedness level. Then maybe at the end of the day, naturally do get up the beauty there. Kadim chida mi ani sirura. Carefree, lucky go kind surura. Discipline the values the tiglam the lunum such a sharp melo. So honey throwing the creativity give freedom, the rules give the I think all rules at least we would like to believe that all rules were made or designed with the elasticity to accommodate freedom as much as possible. Okay? And when the rule breaks, the freedom is going illegally. This is what you like to believe. So up until we can go elastic, I always say, there's a
gap.
Another thing that two of us often discuss, by the way, Nazimi Disugi, Tempa Tanga, Chikatomachin, we were batchmates from Ganglong College. So people might imagine our friendship back at the college. Sober, teetotalers, 10 years, 15 years.
Wow.
Sober years, yasi. So, naturally, freedom law, understand besube. We can understand. And often what we discuss and what we believe in is, as long as it positions our country, it enhances the visibility of our country in a positive way, we should try it. As long as it does not adversely affect the image of our country, the image of the Bhutanese, and we should try it. The common sense try. And then good for us, we're direct people, so direct then in there it's over. So giving them false hope. So come on and understand. So that way we've been lucky.
Just to add on the freedom of artist skill. Actually, I couldn't get it whether you are saying freedom of the creation, freedom on the creation level, on the artist
How do you
skill.
go about regulating these creative aspects that the creative people put out there?
Yeah, because we don't encroach on the content unless it's against public order, the morality. But there are other agencies who also monitor, remember? But beside that, I think they are free to make cultural bureau. In fact, we tell them to be more free and not to actually stick to some preservative, the customary sort of content. For example, those Calm Down, any song, Gangnam, street songs. So the Gangnam style and all. So these are viral. It may or may not make sense more the lyrics than Zumbeda. So if they can create some viral songs, MTVs, our motive is just business, subscriber increase, then bring in some foreign currency. So that's why if they come up saying that we want to make MTV on gender issues, law, environment, culture, then we tell them, oh my God, please don't restrict. We are not encouraging you for local advocacy within our jurisdiction. You should go global, open up, be free sila. So that's why I think now they are thinking about many other creative aspects, not limiting to any.
But I think to touch on what Nola said and what Sir has mentioned also is like sometimes as creatives we feel like even though we might have freedom to do what we want, maybe some other authority might cut up to me. Like example, if I show a zong, will someone come and fix me later? If I show cigarette smoking or some beer, maybe some other authority might fix me. So we have to tackle every day as creatives.
The against public order morality, the code of conduct, which doesn't have a list, but it will depend on case by case. And regarding the metrics, some sort of return on investment sort of compilation, we are going to do from July.
Oh,
we will compile everything.
Coming soon.
So it might come in the form of employment generation as well as monetary benefit, how much foreign currency we earn.
Okay, Nola, you want to mention something?
Sir, I wanted to mention, since Sir is an expert, because of the recent boom of AI, there's been a lot of deep fakes, a lot of AI image generation. So we're wondering to know if there's any precautions that you guys are trying to take or you guys are planning to tackle the future of AI.
Firstly, as I mentioned before, we need to revise our 2001 Act to include all this online misuse or infringement and even the deception and so on. But having said that, I would advocate using AI for our future. Because now at this time, we know that if we produce a content, be it music or film, and put in Spotify, Netflix, it goes well global. Now there is another level beyond that. AI human collaboration to save your time and resource. If you take 2 weeks to make one music video, with AI collaboration, within 35 hours it's possible. It may not have that value, but still you should not fear. You should embrace because what people said in 18th century, when the photography was discovered by one Frenchman, then people told him, yours is just one click sort of taking those whatever landscape, and it has no value. Whereas the artists and painters, they spend lots of time and then mental sort of, and then yours will have no value, photography. But it took 100 years for photography to be accepted as work of art. But now the photography, they are doing equally well. It's also a $1 billion industry, photography. So likewise, this AI human collaboration, AI can generate lyrics, even musical score also, they can generate. It will be ready for sale. You don't waste time. You may have to pay less than the human creation, but you should go and embrace those.
Thank you. That's very well put. So maybe in the future you can have a separate designation, art with AI implementation and exclusively human art.
There is one ESPA energy, one K-pop band.
In
ESPA there is one AI member Nevas or something. She is virtual band, and she even sang one song, AI generated lyrics song. So I think people should look at such a now. Incorporate
I'll quote this now from the chief of DoMCIIP. Listen to ESPA.
It's similar like cryptocurrency. We fear, many countries they fear. We should embrace. Save time.
The art ki ko le labda zumbara. Very recently, by the way, my part-time job is part-time sort of fun time.
Hobby time.
Hobby is we compose some songs, but so my younger brother who plays excellent acoustics, classical, recently he composed something. But since I'm here and he's in Canada, he sent me the tabs and all, and then I write. So, emotion. Because he is playing it with some emotion that even the finger on the 6th string at the 7th fret moves for 2 nanoseconds and then comes down to the 4th string. Whereas when I do it, I do not feel it as he does. So I may be missing that timing. So that emotion is not there. Okay. So AI lo this is a prompt be the tour alugara chinsu garagi kachulo and sweet chalo mandini the most
of course, best intro.
So any intro the AI gi chapchush and slash gi nentash. Do you feel the same? I don't think so. Ngalo juwachin ngagi show.
But mom woke up with 2 minutes to add maybe emotional touch.
Woke up the two, but then like Chief was mentioning, let me go up anyone remember. Party lutur gamchimo. Party duty lutur gamchimo. Nigi party tab beba tunka job ni party tab print beba version. I don't know, it's been some time I actually developed a picture.
Example.
But if I let an artist do a sketch, I might have to pay at least 750 or 1,000. That also I've never tried. So I do not know the price, but I'm thinking it is going to be much higher. Why? Because of what Chief mentioned, the effort.
Human touch.
Textiles. Yeah.
But unfortunately, like the lab the jam is but unfortunately, any handmade gola disu. Tame that was achieved and Kogi Tatabim, Nani Matabim, Zara Metawate, the Legion Bezish, Zara Metawate. Mush.
So clean.
I might have bought this because it was cheaper, right?
For sure, yeah.
But the value is different.
Exactly. The story behind the woman who was weaving this must have had a couple of kids crying near her. Tata di bandara alu do. So that these elements make the price go higher. So it's a good thing.
My material, no one cried next to me.
Despite other comparisons, I think we save time, AI collaboration or
yes, for sure.
So time we will definitely save. And if anyone is interested, I have address of some money AI startup AI human collaboration music startup. They want to sell anime AI generated scores. So if anyone wants to collaborate to create those music scores, but not for Bhutanese consumption, for global sale.
Oh, I want to consume that.
Okay.
So Bigfoot, bye-bye.
Yeah, I can make you all in touch with those companies.
I would like to check. I like to make things. Obviously, if it's cheaper and more convenient, I think the option is always there. But if you want to have it more, maybe human touch created organically, then again, it depends more. But now the option is there. But now the option is there. I think it's good to explore.
Interesting. The most commonly used AI is ChatGPT.
Yes.
ChatGPT used by Gachukuchi Disha baby. Credit me, ChatGPT. So a time might come when ChatGPT.
Where's my credits?
Yeah.
Please and thank you. Don't forget, please and thank you.
Be nice. Vice versa. So you never know. ChatGPT, it doesn't come out from the sky. There are humans behind it.
Yes.
They might be looking at it, and one day, mark my words, if a song lyrics written by ChatGPT does a multi-million business and nobody credits ChatGPT, hunan biodata records pura
You have the receipts.
Something to be aware about.
Aware of. You use it smart.
Okay, also assignment garo ChatGPT mushil dimachume chirati chini dimsi tu.
I think while talking about this, by intellectual property law globally, we don't recognize any AI. Even if AI has written a book, you can copy, reproduce. Do not have to pay anything. And one Indian man, he tried using AI to write a book, one chapter written.
One chapter.
And one chapter was all about AI and human. How does AI feel about human? Will you be aggressive? So AI has written all, whether he will be aggressive or quite scary. So one chapter has been written. It must have gone now into several chapters. So even if AI writes a full book, then by law you have the freedom to copy me, as per the intellectual property law, unless you put AI as one of the recognized author.
Okay.
Similarly, in many jurisdictions we say the creator should be individual or natural person.
Yes.
So what happened was in Indonesia, one of the monkeys, Macaque monkeys, it clicked, remember, selfie.
That's very interesting.
So what happened was then the person who kept the camera trap, he made use of that pictures and sold, got some recognition, and animal rights people shouted saying that it should belong to the monkey. It should go to animal welfare and so on.
The monkey owns the IP.
And then the law says it should be natural person, never. So monkey is not natural person, animals say.
He's natural.
He is natural, technically.
Most
natural.
So in many jurisdictions, almost all jurisdictions, only human beings are recognized as a creator. So not animals. So which means those pictures anyone can copy me without any authorization. But the person who kept the camera, he actually argued saying that he has his own share of innovation and other efforts being put by placing the camera. So lots of court cases were fought in several jurisdictions. And so
Plus, also another interesting fact checking, maybe sir this will king but in just like how you mentioned about international IP laws is after the 50 years after the death of the creators, Mickey Mouse and Winnie the Pooh is similar in body. So Mickey Mouse and Winnie the Pooh, the copyright is actually with now
public domain.
Basically, whoever it owned, maybe Walt Disney, whoever it is, now it's public domain. So now, as anybody in the world can use the intellectual property of Winnie the Pooh and Mickey Mouse and make any media form. So right now in Hollywood, they've made a lot of horror movies. Mickey Mouse, Blood and Wine or something like that. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. So right now, people I've been thinking about it now, more aware and been using it. So maybe in future, who knows, I'll book the horror movie. Sure.
It's riding on the existing reputation of Mickey Mouse. So it's an easy business because publicity has been done half a century anyway. And people do another strange things. For example, when the MH370 Malaysian airline went down, then many people came the next day with trademark MH370 for restaurant Anizumbe. So
to use the publicity of MH370, oh my God.
Because of Anizumbe, maybe for business, but it's others and agony. Even Operation Sindoor between India and Pakistan, people came with those brand names to register Anizumbe because it is publicized to the global audience. Customary word.
So, Operation Sindoor, I read that about 50 producers went to register that name.
Because they want to make a movie or something, or a restaurant, who knows?
They will make a movie, producers.
Or maybe a restaurant. Operation Sindoor may be sad, but our biryani tastes good. So come to Operation Sindoor. Who knows? Who knows?
The name has been made catchy to the global audience.
They want to capitalize on that. Oh, very interesting. 100% next time a major world event comes, I'm coming to Sir's office.
No, I think increasingly we should the chief ki 20,000 international brands that are registered. You the Chikagi did now registered meba. Then at the same time he said 500 local that is and 500 local the nadi nara is. The nalu the SHOUTOUT registered shop baby. You have become well known now. Now this is another term. Well known brands Apple and all these are well known. SHOUTOUT become well known. So they may be migi. Copy maybe what any be watching Choki register. So once you register, baby watching you are protected. Now, what if you have viewers in India, you have viewers in China, thousands of viewers and suddenly some smart, cunning, not smart, some cunning guy, will hogi di nalu popular jode, nagi chitangi labbe, hogi ya register watch, dile SHOUTOUT original de yajo mesubad. The Dubki the protection the narasik but so rather we should go beyond. That's how you expand your identity beyond the borders. So the to come to
less than 10.
So we have licensed entities of about 30,000. Less than 10 jam registered. So that the so very very significant brands that we know. Nilam labdown ansuya chika mojo me.
No.
So ruchika beta bachimu ninka do. So business or for that matter entrepreneur be watching rangi branding the creating that identity dinami sami khacheba. For which people spend a lot. They spend a lot. Whereas Nalu, Chief King, I learn a lot from him, by the way, because so the Chief King, I'll tell you about trade name, karma, let's say, the Sawang Simo. The SHOUTOUT is something you're trying to promote. Whereas Nalu the Choragi mean the trade name in the D, the mark or a Choki brand the Maulu Chunkube. The Chiki packaging this Nalash to Nabal Chanatame. Migi mean the bomb what you actually want to do, the logo the Maulu.
I think I should notify you. So be mindful about them. Very interesting, very interesting.
One good thing, Lani, even law says that registration I could not complete the information. If you have invention, brands, designs, we have a standard application form. You have to pay a fee like 2,000. And then if it is patent invention, in little technical, we call it patent specification application, abstract summary of what invention is. Then drawing the description and the prior art kara drawbacks now new invention solve. Then there is another very important part, claim silong. Claim is actually the part where you should point out what new you have invented. Because for example, if it is pharmaceutical patent application version, it comes to 2,000 pages long with formula and all. If there is any litigation cases, it goes to the judge. Judge doesn't have time to understand all and claim jump to the claim and which person has infringed which. So patent it's a little complicated deal, but we can take care of that. But design and trademark applications are straightforward. Representation of the logo, the ANSU, then piece. And we have publication law /, publication for opposition. If SHOUTOUT comes, we'll publish after formality examination. Then we keep 3 months and put it in journal and circulate not only in Bhutan but outside through IP agents. Globally it will vote. Then people may oppose if it is copied any brand name or against their own prior user the conflict bureau they might raise. But you will have to justify and ultimately we will accept or give a decision.
Okay.
So there are any process, and that we do it through automation system.
Okay.
It's like banking software. We have industrial property automation system, which captures life story of all these brands. Because every 10 years you keep renewing. So even if people like me die, then it should function that software. It should go on forever. Then regarding this SHOUTOUT, now law says if the mark is well known, then even without registration you have protection. But if something happens and goes to court, you will have to prove how it is well known. For example, North Face ki jacket, if they have consider that they have not registered in Bhutan, North Face, but and somehow they saw some fake North Face product, and then they sue those shopkeepers, and then shopkeepers they challenge, saying that it's not registered here, so we can use your mark for other counterfeit products. So North Face should be given chance to prove it is well known. So well known in other countries, how they do is the judge will order those relevant industry users, maybe the tourism tracking groups using the North Face originals, whether this North Face is well known to you. So after conducting those surveys, then court will decide whether that to consider North Face well known in Bhutan and give protection even without having to register. So these things are there. That's why intellectual property, these multinational companies' cases are very complicated. They employ lots of specialists. And in US, if two multinational companies, they want to litigate on IP issues, the upfront fee is $1 million court fee. But before that, they have room to negotiate.
Much the unintelligent property man.
Other countries.
You're going to say something else before you.
Yes, it was about the patent. It's not necessarily a question, but like a PSA. I think Inola Tesla, when he created the the AC motor, he had patented the AC motor, but so Kogi business partner, I think Westinghouse or something, he was going through financial struggle, and he was telling Inola Tesla, I can't pay for your patent, and the royalties, some deal the payments. So he was like, how about I give you a lump sum? For the time, that was like a huge amount for Inola Tesla. Okay, I can work on my inventions. Sure. But later years, he passed away broke, And what he would have earned from those royalties, like he would have been one of the most wealthiest person during that era. So anyone who's giving out their patents or anzumchi intellectual property, be very careful.
Good one. Not only on patent, copyright because at the end of the day, when you use the actually, right? So patent be it something to do with light or sound. Every time that technology or that invention as a part of a larger thing is sold, you earn your royalty. So in copyright and Shimiyang again remind maybe Danzumera marks trademark this well known register because it has become well known because there is something in it or you have put in so much effort to make it well known. So that should be valued, right? Ansu catch to do the we talk about integrity. I'll give you an example. Last year, computer shop new the intellectual property director the computer and the software, the pirated people, that's Matubadi. What do you think?
Yes, nothing.
I go talk about trademark.
Let us move it.
Suddenly, Microsoft Office duplicates you, Windows duplicates you, updates. So, I ship to the discount lend and actually new bit sweet. It's me too, and it also this Hachi got not Jodalu. Cookie the computer or Wi Fi and a connect to Gara out as duplicate this. So, anyway, if a nation that UNIQLO and Zoom give you Dalu, if your IP integrity is high, you're a credible individual.
Yes.
Okay? And with many such individuals, we become a community. And with many such communities, we become a nation. And here, His Majesty is promoting Bhutan, GMC. Achina anzum chamchim disugudi compromise mabewa. Seriously, let's present ourselves to be credible. To sagi labni LDC nale graduate beshim the LDC ki besha bedi madege esse. So we have to progress.
Yes.
So these are the small things, I won't shy away to admit. Many years ago, pirated movies are tongue. Music, gara, YouTube, nale, MP3, Google, go download, listen to a lot of music. So I never did. After I joined this office, that's any software is umbera.
Yeah.
So Spotify subscribe pay, Amazon Prime subscribe pay, Sony Live subscribe pay, Netflix subscribe pay. Exercise की app पे subscribe पे Google is हम सुई यूज़ कर किया जब तो गच्ची देश but
Jailbreak भी मिशी
cheap do affordable do
Yes.
very affordable do and the most beautiful part is you feel happy using
things you paid for. No?
Yeah
Legally.
Activate Windows.
Yeah,
presentation.
but I so you love me. I can resonate also because like we cannot preach about people, doing certain way when you cannot practice ourselves. Exactly. So I'll go, man. So with that being said, I think we're a little bit running. Maybe sir, this we're busy on the wall. So we'll just for a palate cleanser, we'll give a little bit of light-hearted question. In our podcast, we usually it's a film. We are very film enthusiasts, also music enthusiasts. So maybe sir, maybe you can name 4 favorite artists you listen to. We're talking about music. And after maybe 4 films that you have hold fondly, whether it be recent movies you watched or Tampulibi. It doesn't have to be limited to Western music. It can be like he loves Say You Love Me, he loves Tshering Meto, he loves Transformers. It can be anything. So sir, this is like maybe 4 favorite movies and 4 maybe favorite songs or artists.
Okay, 4 favorite movies. The Thin Red Line.
Okay.
Terrence Malick.
Okay.
Then I enjoy this movie series. I think it's Rajan Deki ki Amazon Prime Breathe. The first season. It's very good.
Okay.
Delhi. I think I watched a movie, Malayalam movie called Interrogation. You will not know any actor there, but the movie is one of the okay. And another Malayalam movie, Mandela. It's about identity of a person. Malayalam cinema is good by
Yeah. We know.
it's good. Don't watch it dubbed. Watch it in Malayalam subtitles. Yeah. And artists, musicians.
Song artists anybody.
Every day, every time, Pearl Jam. I just love Eddie Vedder. Then I listen to a lot of Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, okay.
We'll Never Give Up, Bob Dylan. And I think Castles Made of Sand takes me back to Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, nice selection, sir. Very versatile. Nice curated. I'll definitely check it out myself.
I don't watch movie as a die-hard fan.
Yes.
As I get time, I watch. I remember movies like Munabai MBBS.
Oh, yeah.
Really entertaining.
Yes, it's the
because
best.
it gives me on toes about those things happening. And even it doesn't give a serious sort of advice in life.
It's very...
So we want to be like that.
Yes.
And other movie I remember is Evil Dead.
Evil Dead. Wow.
Because
which one? Part 1 or part 2?
No.
Part 1 is serious. Part 2 is unserious.
Yeah, the part 1.
Okay.
Because that I watched not at home. I watched in theater.
Oh.
I went with my cousin. It was night show.
Okay.
The first night it was scary. It started from 9 p.m. and concluded just before midnight.
Okay.
So we had to walk home. It was really scary. And next day we again went to watch to challenge and see whether how scared we were yesterday. And the second day we found it good. We were like normal audience. And then went home. Again next day we came to watch.
Wow, 3 times. Evil Dead. Wow.
So third time while watching I found it very funny. so that's why I can't forget that movie.
Okay.
Then other movies are like Hindi movies like Lunchbox.
Oh, I love
which
Lunchbox.
is
They mentioned
very-
Bhutan, was it?
Yeah, they mentioned
Bhutan.
And in that one particular scene he was a bachelor, single, nearing retirement.
Oh.
And he went to order one coffin because he thinks that his time is up. And then he got a very small plot, remember? Where the coffin has to stand now after his death. And he travels from office to home by bus, crowded bus. Every time he stands. So he was talking to himself, saying that while living, he has to stand. Now, even after death, I'll have to stand. So that I cannot forget. Then 3 movies more. Then the others could be the likes of 3 Idiots and all.
Okay. Rajkumar Hirani fan, I remember, sir. Okay.
And regarding the music, I like Eagles, Scorpions, all songs. Not all, but half the songs they sing. I soft rock.
Okay.
And Bhutanese. Recently, I liked Paksu Boys.
Jamyang Lazoksho.
Yeah, how they actually shake the audience.
He's been mentioning about it all the
Yeah,
okay.
and then other singers are equally good or even better, but I need to get immersed with them too.
Okay, is that all? Okay,
yes.
very nice. Very diverse selections from Sir
Yes.
Dusula.
Yes.
Okay, now the last question which we usually do is a personality test which I have generated. It depends on whether Sir Dusu are snackers. So do you eat Lay's chips, Sir Dusu?
What's that?
Lay's chips.
No.
Sir Dusu, even when you want a snack from
I don't
someone.
buy and take, but whenever somebody in my house, they
finger
open
chips.
up,
Okay.
then I just
So
take
I just want to know if you do buy Lay's, what color is your favorite?
Color packet.
Okay, green.
Oh, you get along. Finally. Sergey.
blue.
Oh!
Yeah, blue.
So my theory is everyone in Bhutan's favorite is blue, especially girls. Blue Lay's.
Database, nagi database.
So right now, database
That's interesting.
blue is the most popular flavor.
Whenever I think about a blue lace any packet, I imagine one red chili and
Green is the classic one, no?
onion.
Yellow is classic.
Yellow is classic.
Green is like shrinky taste gummy. And then blue is Indian masala taste gummy. So it depends on personality, what do you like. So that's my personality test.
Greeny green.
No. So do you have extra time for extra questions or would you like to wrap it up?
Yeah, thanks, man. Done.
Okay, tupla, because I wanted to actually talk about the films because you guys also have contributed in a grant for the 2 projects.
Maybe
in
next
Palmo.
chapter.
But maybe next time in the
Next chapter.
Okay,
No,
let's see.
once the films are done and then released,
Okay, let's
it could become a very good content.
That's another chapter.
We
Another
have a
chapter.
massive plan for these 2 films.
Okay, maybe we can talk
Marvel
about it
Phase
off
2.
camera.
Phase 2 Marvel.
Mama,
DoMCIIP
DoMCIIP.
Cinematic Universe.
Okay, okay. So the final question, maybe we can ask, then we can wrap it up. Is now that you mentioned about how you've tried to contribute to the creative sector and the industry in Bhutan, what do you see at least in the near and foreseeable future, at least for you, whether it be in the industry, the creators, the regulators, at least what do you hope to see in the near future?
We want to see very practical things, Lavi. We want to see our movies doing very well beyond Bhutan.
Yes.
And when I say beyond Bhutan, not the diaspora market beyond Bhutan, but a market beyond Bhutanese.
Yes.
One thing. The other one, can we create our own Rema? Can we create our own Sai? Can we create international superstar music? Okay? And we will. So that's what I see. We see some of our brands known outside.
Yes.
At least Walmart, Nalepanga, Chitubigi, Jala, Dakpachi Thomachin. That means that branding has been done well. So, Anichia Thomme. And very soon we will see Milan Fashion Week Dubigi designs.
Oh,
Very
teaser.
soon,
Teaser.
September.
Oh, teaser. Okay, Les. All right, Les, so thank you so much again for coming and giving time out of your busy schedules to talk about everything. Especially me and Inola, I'm sure we learned a few things, and maybe the people who watch more, maybe they get learned this aspect from the more regulators and also from Creator Taka. And lastly, since we could not offer more than maybe cold water and some Coca-Cola, if you also Doma as well, thanks JYP. Lastly, what we offer to our guests usually is to promote anything. We call it a plug. So, for example, if you're a musician, usually we say you can promote last minute by saying, hello, I have a new music video out. Here's my Instagram channel. Please check it out. So, from Sir's Khatule, anything you want to promote, last opportunity.
Let's collaborate. I think we alone cannot do anything. We need your support. We need your guidance. And I say this to every actor, stakeholder in the creative industry. You'll have to come forward, talk to us, guide us if you're going wrong. But you'll also have to listen to us because we think only good for you and the industry. We cannot think for individuals. We think for the industry. So only if there is a belief that your work can benefit the industry, then we set the platform for the newer, younger generations to grow. So that is our motive, that is our objective. You should please understand this. And from that perspective, we are open. Please come. Please let us know if you can do anything. So that is what we would like to pitch.
Last,
Thank you so much.
anything you add on, Sir Tempa? Last, thank you so much. Okay, with that being said, this comes to the end of our episode. Thank you all for watching. If you watched towards the end and you have clicked on this video because of these faces, please consider subscribing because of these faces. Most of our viewers are like 50% is not subscribed. So if you had watched and enjoyed this episode, please subscribe if you can. It really helps the channel and grow. And if you already subscribed, you want to contribute and maybe support the channel, you can join our membership program and be a pod head like these lovely people right here. So thank you to our pod heads. And also Jameng as always gets me by the throat and tells me to subscribe to Juno Music and Juno Studios, where you can watch your favorite music videos and also other podcasts like Builders of Bhutan. Good enough. And also, what did I forget? Oh yeah, let's also give a shout out to actually this decoration, which was given by a fan called I forgot the name.
Handmade in Anya.
It's handmade, man. It's handmade.
Nice.
So I didn't even know what it was. It's the effort that counts, man. And I love these coasters as well. For Mayo's handmade crafts, so shout out to them. And anything I missed out? Nothing? Okay. Oh yeah, if you want to, like Sir did not mention any plugs, but if you want to stay updated for anything related to DoMCIIP and creative industry, whether it be proposals, grants, events, whatever, follow DoMCIIP's Facebook page. DoMCIIP Facebook page here. Website na joining so just check out the Facebook. And with that being said, Sir, if you can help us more cut this podcast by saying 1, 2, 3, we'll clap, okay? So until the next episode, goodbye. 1, 2, 3. Lasso. Cut.
Thank you.
Lasso.